Chapter 4. "Prasanna, come to the mall with me," Darcy said the next morning, trying to forget her exhaustion and the nearly sleepless night which had finally ended. It was late morning, and she was pacing back and forth across her bedroom, the cordless phone pressed up against the side of her face. "It'll be like old times. I even have enough money to buy something." "Today?" Prasanna asked. "Dwayne is supposed to pick me up at 6 o'clock. We're going to the movies." "We can go early. We can get some lunch at the food court, and you'll be back in time." "How are we going to get there?" "Like old times. The bus," Darcy replied. "The bus?" Prasanna repeated as if the words were somehow offensive. "I never take the bus anymore." "It's what we always did. Come on, it'll be fun." "The bus?" Prasanna scoffed. "Fun?" "Prasanna, would you stop being a snob and just come with me?" Darcy snapped. The phone was silent for several long seconds, and Darcy wondered whether the serious conversation with Prasanna would have to happen over the phone. "All right, relax," Prasanna replied finally. "I'll meet you at the bus stop in an hour." Darcy got to the bus stop early and watched as Prasanna crossed the street to meet her. She was happy to see that her old friend was wearing jeans and a loose-fitting t-shirt, nothing like the outfit she had worn the day before. "I knew you'd be early," Prasanna said, sitting down on the wooden bench and looking at her reflection in a tiny mirror she carried in her purse. "Some things never change." "You too, girl. How many times have I seen you staring in that mirror?" Darcy teased. She couldn't remember the last time the two went out, but she was sure that when they did, Prasanna had stopped at some point to examine her makeup. "What can I say? I just want to look good, especially now that I'm seeing Dwayne," Prasanna admitted, putting the tiny mirror away. "You always look good, Prasanna. I don't think I've ever seen you look bad." "You just aren't looking close enough," Prasanna said matter-of-factly. "Dwayne says my face is getting heavier, and I think he's right. What do you think? Does my face look fatter to you?" "No, you look fine, Prasanna, and even if it did, who was he to be complaining about it? He's only been seeing you for a week." She wanted to make Prasanna question Dwayne, but she knew that she couldn't be too strong. Prasanna wouldn't listen if she was. "A week? We've been dating for a month now. Where have you been?" Prasanna challenged. Darcy was surprised that they had been going together that long, but it made sense. So much had happened to her in the last month of school that she had no idea what Prasanna was up to. "Sorry," she said. "I guess I've been a little distracted." Prasanna looked at her and smiled. "It's okay. I knew you had a lot going on at home with your grandma and all. How's your mom doing?" "She's okay, just really tired," Darcy said, not wanting to admit her concerns about her parents to Prasanna. "I think she's still getting used to Grandma not being around." "My mom was a mess when Grandma died," Prasanna said, watching a woman walk up the street. "I was so little I can hardly remember my grandma, but I remember my mom crying in church like she was a baby. It was scary." In the distance, Darcy could hear the growing roar of the bus coming down the busy street toward them. "That's the worst. Seeing your parents upset? I hate that," Darcy said, thinking of her mother's behavior over the past few nights. "I guess, but I don't have to worry about that. My parents don't talk enough to get upset about anything, especially me. As long as my grades are good and I don't come in too late, they leave me alone." Prasanna spoke strangely, as if she was boasting and complaining at the same time. The grumble of the bus grew louder and was followed by the skull-splitting whine of brakes and a cloud of sooty diesel smoke. A second later, the bus door opened with a noisy, metallic clap. "Just like old times," Darcy said with a smile, getting in line. "You call this fun?" Prasanna replied, her face almost in a childish pout as she boarded the bus. The bus rolled slowly through the neighborhood, merged with the highway, and sped to the mall just outside the city. After a short walk, The two were standing right outside the food court at a giant T-shaped intersection in the heart of the mall. Crowds of people passed them on either side, while others eyed them from the second and third floor balconies. Teenagers were everywhere. Kids from the suburbs, the city, and every place in between, all moving along slowly. Some working at stores, others shopping, all of them people watching. "Yo, ladies, you want to sit here with us? I'll buy you lunch," said a young light-skinned guy with dreadlocks sitting at a round table with his friends. Darcy turned away uncomfortably. Rosanna rolled her eyes but said nothing. "Oh, come on, why you gotta be that way?" the guy added. Two other teenage guys at the table laughed. "Just give me your digits, baby." "You better give up, bro. You're embarrassing yourself," said one of the guys to his friend. "Let's go," Darcy urged, suddenly feeling nervous. "Don't worry about it, Darcy. It's no big deal," Rosanna said, following her away from the food court. Darcy nodded, saying nothing about the sudden wave of dizziness that swept over her, the nervous tremors in her hands or the loud pounding in her chest. She had been coming to the mall with Rosanna since middle school. Guys were always yelling stuff to them, especially in the summer when everyone was out of school. Once or twice, they had even stopped and talked to them. Rosanna would flirt, sometimes giving away a fake phone number, joking afterwards that she would never call anyone she met at the mall. It was all harmless back then, but now it made Darcy feel threatened, unsafe. "You all right? You look like something freaked you out." "Yeah, I'm fine. I just didn't feel like dealing with them right now," Darcy said, trying to calm herself and stop Rosanna from staring at her. "I don't understand what guys are thinking when they act that way. Like I'm gonna hook up with him because he yelled at me in the middle of the mall. Please." "What are you getting so upset for? Guys do that all the time." "Yeah, well, maybe they shouldn't," Darcy snapped, looking over her shoulder just to make sure they were alone. "Geez, someone's having a bad day," Rosanna said, putting her hand on her hip and raising one eyebrow at Darcy. "Well, I came here to do some shopping, and that's what I'm gonna do. You coming?" Rosanna strolled across the mall and Darcy watched her, shocked at how upset she was feeling. For a second, she had wanted to run away, even though she figured the guy meant no harm. Whatever he had intended, Rosanna was right. It had freaked her out. Darcy knew it had to do with the nightmares, with Brian. Darcy followed Rosanna and wondered how she would ever talk to her about Dwayne. Maybe she'd just do it another time, she thought. Or maybe Rosanna really didn't need to talk. After all, she wasn't the one getting panicky in the mall just because of a dumb guy, Darcy thought. But then she noticed where Rosanna was going. Up on the second floor of the mall, behind Steppen, where Darcy and Tara always bought shoes, was a shop they had often joked about, for ladies only. It was a store that specialized in women's clothing, especially bathing suits and sleepwear, and Darcy had passed it dozens of times, but rarely went in. The place just wasn't her style. Everything seemed too frilly and cost too much. "Coop always says he's gonna buy me something nice from there, but I tell him, boy, save your money," Tara once said. Hakeem never even mentioned it. By the time Darcy got to the top of the escalator, Rosanna was already heading straight through the entranceway. "What are you doing, Rosanna?" Darcy thought as she stopped outside the door. Inside the front glass displays were mannequins wearing lacy nightgowns and fancy pajamas. Darcy felt a little uncomfortable looking at them. She wondered if other people were watching her. "Ooh, look, a sale," Rosanna said excitedly, moving deeper into the store. Reluctantly, Darcy entered. As soon as she stepped inside, she inhaled the overpowering fragrance of perfume. It was so strong, it nearly made her eyes water. A sign over the cash register showed a picture of a tiny bottle next to a woman's stomach. Heat, the new scent of summer, on sale now for $29.99. No thanks, Darcy thought to herself. The scent reminded her of a mixture of overripe strawberries and smoke. The walls to her left and right were painted blood red, and lined with lacy curtains in pink and beige, making the whole place look like a strange fake mansion. On the back wall hung a series of black and white posters of skinny women with long legs. Darcy had been to the store a few times. Her Aunt Charlotte had even bought her a pair of expensive pajamas from the store for Darcy's 15th birthday. "Now this is real silk," Aunt Charlotte had said. "Now that you're a young woman, you should have something nice. This is what a queen wears when she goes to sleep," Aunt Charlotte said when she gave her the pajamas. Darcy had worn them once and left them in the back of her drawer. Sweatpants and a cotton t-shirt were more comfortable. Up until last year, Prasanna had been the same way about clothes, yet now she moved through racks as if she had been there many times. "Come here, check this out," Prasanna exclaimed. She was holding a white bikini that Darcy wouldn't dream of putting on. "Isn't it nice? Dwayne says he wants me to get a nice bathing suit. You think he'd like this?" Darcy looked at the bathing suit again. It looked no bigger than a pair of socks. "You'd wear that for him?" "Yeah," Prasanna said. "Why, do you think there's something wrong with it? Maybe a different color?" Darcy shifted uncomfortably. This was her chance, though she could hear Tara's voice in her mind. "She ain't gonna listen to you." "No, it's not about the bathing suit, Prasanna. It's just," Darcy stammered. "Just what? Go ahead and say it. Don't you think you're moving just a little too fast? I mean, you hardly know Dwayne, and now you're wearing skimpy stuff for him." "It's just a bathing suit," Prasanna said, her voice suddenly loud. "But yesterday at Scoops, you two were all over each other. I've never seen you like that before. You seem so different." "Maybe because now I'm happy. Did you ever think of that, Darcy?" Prasanna said, saying her name as if it were an insult. "What do you care if I act a little different?" "I'm your friend, Prasanna. That's what friends do. They look out for each other when they see something wrong." "Yeah, well, nothing's wrong," Prasanna insisted. "The only problem is that you can't handle that I'm happy with Dwayne. I can understand if you're jealous. I mean, I know it must be hard without Hakeem around and all, but that doesn't mean you have to get up in my face like I'm doing something wrong." "Jealous?" Darcy exclaimed. She couldn't believe her ears. "Think about it, Darce. Your boyfriend's gone, I've got Dwayne, and as sorry as it seems, even Tara's got a boyfriend. The only one who doesn't is you, and you can't stand it." "Girl, you are so wrong," Darcy said, trying to keep her cool. "What I'm trying to say is that Dwayne doesn't seem right. Don't even start with me, Darcy," Prasanna said, shaking her head as if what she heard disgusted her. "I can't even believe you're talking to me like this. For once, I have someone that makes me feel good, and all you want to do is mess it up. I don't even want to talk about this." "Prasanna, I'm not trying to mess anything up. I just don't want you to rush things. You know, just slow down," Darcy said. Prasanna sighed and looked at the bathing suit thoughtfully. "You know what Dwayne said to me? He told me he loved me. We were at the beach in his car, and he looked at me with his dark eyes and said it. I didn't know what to say." Looking at her, Darcy knew Prasanna meant every word she said. But at the same time, Darcy doubted that Dwayne's words were sincere. "He's moving kind of fast, don't you think?" "Look, Darcy, I know he's not perfect, but he says he loves me, and he takes me out. We have a good time together. What's wrong with that?" "What do you mean he's not perfect?" Darcy said, remembering how Cindy, Jamie's friend, once said similar words about a boy who nearly beat her up one night. "See, there you go again," Prasanna said, rolling her eyes. "Let's just drop it, okay?" "Are you going to purchase that?" interrupted the saleswoman from behind the cash register. The voice startled Darcy, but Prasanna didn't even flinch. "Yeah, I'll take it," she said, handing over the bikini. "That's just what I need." The woman smiled and rang up the bathing suit as Darcy turned away, unsure of what to do next. Tara was right. Prasanna was not going to listen.